Hello lovely people of YouTube land. Forgive the mess in here for a moment. I'm just in the process of making homemade hummus, and here it is over here. We've got chickpeas and tahini and lemon juice and garlic and salt. And what I wanted to tell you, I was just in the process of squeezing a lemon, then I thought, oh, I must just tell them this. So when you've cooked your chickpeas and you drain them over a bowl, you're left with the cooking liquor in there. That's just plain water that you cooked your chickpeas in. Don't throw it away. Two things you can do with it. The first thing that I always do with it is I use a bit in the hummus in place of olive oil. Good for you to cut down a bit on your oils and fats, and also it's kind of more economical. But the second and more exciting thing you can do with it is, if you come this way, I've got a little bit in a pan here that I'm just, can you see that? I'm just reducing that down a bit. It's bubbling away, and you reduce it right down, I think by about a half. I'm going to go and Google and check that in a minute, and I'll put a little caption down for you. But you reduce it down, and then apparently it's a sort of vegan egg white substitute, and I really am finding it quite hard to believe that this is going to actually work. And I'm hoping it's not some kind of elaborate April Fool. Gonna look like a right twit, but apparently it whisks up a bit like meringue, and you can use it to make meringues or cakes, sponge cakes and biscuits without eggs, which is just mental. I used to just throw that water away. However, it has value, so there you go. You learn something new every day. Aquafaba it's called, which aqua, water, and fava is another name for sort of pulses or legumes or something. So yeah, aquafaba from just the water you've cooked your chickpeas in. And apparently you can also do it if you've just opened up a can of chickpeas. You can use that and just reduce it down a bit, and then whisk it up to be a kind of eggless meringue. So stay tuned and let's see if it works out. I've made all my hummus now, and the aquafaba over here has reduced down. It's supposed to go down to the consistency of egg white, but you can't tell if it's egg white consistency until it's actually cool, so I'm going to leave that to cool. This is the aquafaba that I made yesterday, and all it said about reducing it was to just reduce it down until it resembles the consistency of egg whites, so until it gets a little bit viscous. It was very runny when I just actually drained the chickpeas off, and now I've reduced it down by about half, and it's sort of got a bit of a sort of gooiness to it, and it looks a bit like egg whites itself. So I'm just going to pass that through a sieve because it seems to have got bits in it. Ooh. Yeah, it's almost like kind of like a jelly type texture. And now the fun bit starts. We're going to actually see if this actually works, and if it actually does, whisk up. So here's hoping. Well, blow me down with a feather, it's only working. Yes, it's actually whisking up. Can't believe it, it's like egg white when you're making a meringue. Yeah, who would have thought that? Yeah, I think that's enough whisking. Look at that. So you can use this as a meringue, and it's just the chickpea water. Doesn't really taste of anything at all, which is yay. That's quite good, I'd say. So what I'm going to do with my aquafaba is I'm going to have a go at making some chocolate chip cookies, and this is just my own recipe. I'm going to cream together or whisk together my sugar with some olive oil. And now let's see what happens when I add some of this. We'll do a bit at a time because this is all experimental. Looking good. I'm going to add the rest. So in here I've got 8 ounces of sugar. I've just used regular sugar. I vanillaized it with a vanilla pod. I wanted to use brown sugar, but I didn't have any. So just regular sugar, vanillaized. Instead of using butter or margarine, I've used olive oil, and I've just put about a cup of that in there. I've used quite a lot of aquafaba, about a pint, and then I whisked it and it just filled this whole bowl. So just whisk them together for a bit. That'll do, because I'm feeling lazy. So I'm going to add my dry ingredients, which are 8 ounces of regular all-purpose flour, an ounce or 2 of cocoa, teaspoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of baking soda. Just going to sieve those in. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to actually add the homemade, think brain, the homemade chocolate chips, which was just a bar of chocolate that I bashed up. Actually, I'm going to stir that. Wow. Looking nice, looking quite like a cake batter actually. Right, yes, I did say this was a sort of experimental thing, and the batter that I was intending to use to make chocolate chip cookies is much more like a cake batter. Possibly I've used too much aquafaba, you know, so too much of the eggy substitute thing. So I'm just lining an oven-proof dish here, and I'm going to whop it in that and see if it sets as a sponge. It's got chocolate chips in it, Ellie. So let's pop it in. You see it's quite runny, and let's see what happens. This is very much experimental. I've also put another 4 ounces of flour in there. If this works out and it's nice and I think it's worth sharing, I'll put the exact recipe somewhere in the description box. But it's like a magical mystery type of a... Lovely. That looks nice. Let's just like that. Lick the bowl. Stand in front of the camera so we can get your response to licking the bowl.
Hold on. It's nice.
It's alright.
It's very nice.
Lovely. I think we've got to switch that off then now. I'm going to get this in. Let me show you. Well, I've just taken it out of its bowl and it is absolutely scrumptious. There's a little crumb there. Gorgeous. Oh my god. Can you smell that? I mean, just give you a moment just to savour the deliciousness that is this sponge cake. Eggless, dairyless. Anybody who wants to cut out dairy or eggs, or anybody who's vegan, I'm just eating all the bits here off the paper. Oh my god, I would highly recommend this. Right, I'm going to put the recipe, because it has worked out, I'm going to stick the recipe in the description box, because goddamn, that's really good. Wow. This looks really good. So it's soft and squishy, dark and chocolatey. It's moist in the middle. I've got a bit of a crispy top. It's actually like a brownie. Look, that's one of the nuts there. Top nut. Oh god, that's so good.